The chiller, does it take to freeze in the chiller versus the chest freezer?
Chest freezer is going to be, let's see, about 15, 18 hours.
Okay.
And this is probably going to be about 6 or 7.
Okay.
But the point is, you leave it in there.
Yep.
It's your inventory. It's like saying, how long does it take for me to go through a trailer truck of stainless steel? Well, maybe it takes 2 days to get the delivery, but then that delivery of stainless steel sits there on the shelf until I need it, so I'm drawing from it. You're going to make the ice cream and then draw from it as needed.
Okay, go ahead. Questions?
You know
We're ready. We're right up here.
You know what happens is, as soon as we break for lunch, everybody rushes up to us and asks us a million questions. So we can save you the trip if you have anything you want to know at all. How many people are going to do Italian ice? Raise your hand. Okay. How many are doing hard ice cream?
How many think they can do both in one location?
I do.
No, not going to work.
He's wrong. He's wrong. It works very well. In fact, I'm the one who puts people into business, and I have put thousands and thousands of people into business with the CB350, starting off this month with Italian ice, and then in the wintertime adding in ice cream. Actually, nowadays what we do, something Jeff won't even talk about, is dairy-free ice cream. We add that next because the process is just like Italian ice. In its simplest form, it would be coconut milk or oat milk, sugar, and flavor. And
you can get all that at Walmart.
Not at all. They don't even know to use oat. Oat is wonderful because it has no taste, and you are adding all the taste yourself. So if you took my ice cream formula for, say, let's say Oreo cookie ice cream. You take my recipe for Oreo cookie ice cream in the CB350, it's going to say add a bag of Oreo cookies. If I'm going to do dairy-free, I'm going to add a bag and a half because the oat has no flavor. Dairy has flavor, and I'm going to add to it. What Jeff hasn't been able to grasp in all these years is that you have an age group from about 45 down that does not love dairy. Their parents have Haagen-Dazs ice cream in the freezer, and they're just not touching it. I mean, I'm in the ice cream business all my life, and my 4 kids have no interest in ice cream. They love my dairy-free. And the millennial age group is, and if you combine that with Gen Z and Gen X, you've got a much, much larger market than the baby boomers. And we were the biggest thing ever to come along. This is a bigger group. I call up customers of mine in Massachusetts and Long Island, places where you had these old German confectionaries that have been around, excuse me, since 1920. And when I started doing dairy-free 4 years ago, I would call them up and I'd say, hey, I want to tell you about this new product. I'm not selling you a machine, just telling you about something new. And I tell them, and I can hear them going like Jeff, yeah, okay, great. And I ask them a very poignant question. I say, how many people in your store are under 35? And he goes, oh, I don't know. If I looked out there, I'm sure there's a few, 1 or 2. And I said, yeah, that's exactly the point. You got a lot of people your age and my age in the store who are buying their high-fat, rich ice cream, and we love it. But the sad fact is we're going to get older, and we're going to, I use the term age out instead of drop dead. We're going to age out of your market, and here is this whole group of people coming up from teenagers up who are not in love with Haagen-Dazs. And they are your new market. And if you don't grasp that concept and make a product that they want to buy, then you're going to miss the whole future market. Oh, but my store's full now. Yeah, but it won't be later. And then one thing I tell people, it has not caught on yet, but I was talking to a gentleman about this yesterday, is, okay, so you've got the older market, you've got me, you've got the Haagen-Dazs lovers. I have an older sister. I like to kid her. I refer to her as my much older sister. And so since she's my much older sister, she is running into situations that happen with older people. And she tells me, I wouldn't know, that as you get older, it's harder to digest, filet mignons and French fries and ice cream because of the fat content. It upsets your stomach. So I have always thought all you have to do is, as people are buying their high-fat ice cream on their way out, say, hey, I'd like you to try a pint of this mint chip dairy-free. I think you're going to like it. And once they taste it, and it's not the taste of ice cream, but it's extremely good, they're going to say, hey, this is great. And guess what? 2 days later, it doesn't upset my stomach. There's now the whole baby boomer generation open to you. So I think this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. The statistics prove it. Every year, the dairy-free goes up by the millions of gallons sold. And I watch all these statistics because I've been through a lot of fads in my life. I've been through the rolled ice cream. And I've been through the nitrogen ice cream where and both of those, what's wrong with them is not the product. It's that it takes 6 minutes to serve one customer. I got 10 people in line, 6 minutes. I'm not waiting an hour for an ice cream. I'm sorry, you're not that good. And all these different fads. Frozen yogurt was a fad that just wouldn't die. It came back twice, and twice they lied to people. I mean, it was so not yogurt that they literally just whispered the word yogurt over it. It was ice cream with a little bit of dead culture. And in order to freeze, it's got to have a lot of sugar in it. So my wife, who is eating these exotic, wonderful yogurts, won't touch the frozen yogurt because she knows it's 40% sugar. I mean, it's going to put weight on you. And it's everything else that sugar is going to do.
Working at Emory Thompson.
It wasn't what it wasn't what she was looking for. That was a fad. Gelato was a huge fad. I judge everything by phone calls. People call up and they say, I want to go into the gelateria business. And so I talk to them and I say, okay, fine, but you realize people are not opening gelaterias in the United States. Yes, there's an exception to every rule. I can name you 12 great gelaterias.
Certainly in a talking mood today.
Say what? Until we have questions.
Oh, okay.
Gelato is not
just in the
selling
middle.
in the United States. It's not selling in Australia. It's not selling in the United Arab Emirates area. It's not selling in New Zealand. It is selling Europe huge, and it's selling South America huge because a lot of Europeans went there. But homemade ice cream has taken over the business. So these fads come and go. Dairy-free. I'll sit here 10 years from now and tell you the same thing. Dairy-free is not a fad. Yes?
A lot of the ice cream shops sell Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Oh.
So could you explain to maybe me or some of the people here what's the difference? Like that's supposed to be dairy free. So how is that?
It is.
Yeah.
We do a question and answer, Christy and I. We filmed it yesterday. It'll be up in a few days, called Questions Answered. And we take questions like that have come in, and one of them was Dole Whip.
Yeah.
And I said, Dole Whip is a delicious product. Dole Pineapple is terrific. And you put it through a soft serve machine, and it is fat-free. It's an Italian ice. It's sugar, water, and Dole Pineapple, and a lot of chemicals. That's Dole Whip. It's good tasting. I gave over the QA, I gave the formula. I said, 3.5 pounds of sugar, 4 quarts of water, and 3/4 of a quart of pineapple pieces in the syrup. Just pour that all into the CB350, you've got Dole Whip, so you don't have to go out and buy a machine. But it's great. But it's just like the yogurt. They said the yogurt, I'll get you in a sec. They said the yogurt is fat-free, cholesterol-free, sodium-free. That's all true. But it's 40% sugar. So is it good for you? Not if your intent is to eat yogurt. It's not the same thing. But Dole Whip is terrific.
One thing I did learn about Dole Whip is virtually there's nothing in there for anybody to be allergic to. So that's why big corporations like Disney World predominantly use Dole Whip. because they know that it caters to every single crowd and nobody can have an allergy against it. I think it's okay product. I'm not really a huge fan of it. I did go to the Dole plantation in Hawaii and it was okay. I mean, it was basic. Would I like to have something out of our machines? You know, like or throw an orange juice and some sugar? Absolutely, more than Dole Whip.
Do you hear something wrong here? She's going to the Dole plantation.
What?
She's got her own machine. My idea of a big trip is going to Jersey City or Hoboken. Yes, sir.
As far as containers to scoop out of, there's a lot of different sizes, shapes. What would you recommend as far as, you know, the 1.5 gallons or the 3 gallon tubs, and small rectangles, long rectangles, you know, what's usually the most ideal starting off?
Jeff, you want to speak on that, and then I will too?
I've always used and think it's the best 1 gallon plastic round containers, because the enemy of ice cream is air. So the smaller the container, the less you're subjecting the ice cream to air.
So something like that.
That's it.
I
That's it.
cringe when I go
That's it.
to an ice cream store and I ask for this certain flavor and they scoop it and it changed colors when they scooped it because the air just completely caked over the top of it. And it is the worst enemy. So I agree with small containers like that.
And you know how you go to the deli and you're just dying for a roast beef sandwich, and your brain is just thinking it's going to be great. You know, lots of mayonnaise, some salt, the whole works. And they pull out a little tiny piece of roast beef like this, which is the last end piece of it, and he starts to start slicing it, and I'm going, oh, come on, that's not what I planned. And pull out a new one, or you walk away. Nobody wants the end of the container. You know, you see the person scraping the bottom. Yeah, I know it's successful, congratulations, but has it been there for 2 months? Don't give me that, give me a fresh one. So people who just don't think about it, I tell them, when you get down to the lower 25% or third, you know, take it in the back and bring out a new tub. And you can add it to an existing tub. But what they do is they take an existing tub, which they have only filled 3/4 of the way because they know they're going to be doing this, and they glom it on top, and it doesn't fool anybody. Look at that. That didn't come out of the machine like that. You know, give me a real tub. I mentioned before, and I was talking to a gentleman about this during the break, I mentioned that rents are going up dramatically. And so restaurants, the owner of the restaurant says, okay, we've got 40 tables here. The rent just doubled. I need 50 tables. We can only move this way into the chef's kitchen. We're going to shrink the chef's kitchen. Usually it's freezer space, less freezer space. So Haagen-Dazs comes in with the big round tubs and says, hey, we deliver 10 of these tubs every 14 days. And so the executive chef is thinking, where am I going to put 10 tubs? And how do I know 14 days from now what flavor I want to offer? You come in and you say, chef, I use these wonderful disposable gelato pans. And look, I can put 2 that way and 2 this way. And yes, it's a little bit more than 1 tub, but I've just given you, the restaurateur, 4 flavors instead of 1 tub. So I can really be a benefit to your restaurant. I'm taking up less space in your freezer. I'm giving you more variety. And instead of Haagen-Dazs as well, we're Haagen-Dazs. We'll see you in 2 weeks. It's, oh, and by the way, chef, if you start running low on Friday afternoon, give me a call. We'll see what we can do for you. You're giving a level of personal service that Haagen-Dazs never can do. So I think these are great. They're disposable. Again, it's a gelato supply. And if you think you're going to deliver round tubs or even the 1 gallon tubs to a restaurant and have the chef wash them out and return them to you, you know, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn, because they don't have the room for it. They're not going to wash them properly. They don't want to attract little insects, and they're going to just throw them in the dumpster. Hey, they can throw these in the dumpster all they want. We've got it factored into the cost of the ice cream. So I think they're great. I like them a lot. Oh, and when you go to scoop them, you're supposed to scoop a tub in a semicircular motion around the tub like this. You go home tonight, do that, your wrist is going to break. I mentioned that earlier. But with this, it's north to south. You got all the strength in your bicep. Never get in a fight with an ice cream server because the ice cream server's got great biceps, you know, from going like this all day. That's easy to scoop. Anybody else?
Could we
Yeah.
do ice cream with Splenda without using sugar? Or
Splenda has no freezing properties. Splenda has baking properties. I have found a product, took a long time. Everybody else making a sugar-free product is using maltodextrin. It's a modified food starch. It's a harsh chemical, and it'll give you diarrhea. It's plain and simple. I do everything to excess. So the little bag of chocolates that's sugar-free, made with maltodextrin, says, consuming more than 2 of these at a time may cause stomach distress. Well, I read that as I'm shaking out the last one from the bag, you know, and it's too late. I came up with a product that has been out there called allulose, Allulose. Allulose is a combination of rare fruits. I have 6 formulas of how to make sorbets with allulose. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I supposedly can't eat ice cream, but I can eat this stuff all day long and it doesn't hurt me. Go to steve@emerythompson.com. I'll send you the formulas for free. Erythritol is very similar to allulose, but it'll give you heart problems, so don't use erythritol. Splenda, in the last 6 days, an article has crossed my desk from a medical journal saying that Splenda changes your DNA. And that's not good. So I personally, who go through 4 Splenda every time I get a cup of coffee, have given up on Splenda 100%, and I'm switching over to Truvia, not Truvia, Stevia. Truvia's got erythritol in it. I'm using clear Stevia, and I put a couple of droppers fall in. It's not the same taste, but instead of changing my DNA, I think I'll live with it. Because I don't know what changing my DNA will do. Maybe I'll grow a 3rd head, and I don't want to do that. 2nd head.
Careful.
so
Yeah.
to transfer from sugar to allulose, could we find the formula to have the 2 quarts or 2 liters or 2?
Yeah, it's right in my, I can send it to you.
Okay.
I don't know it off the top of my head, otherwise I'd give it to you, and I just updated it to make it a little more intense on the allulose. Allulose costs more. It's getting up to 2/3 the cost of cane sugar. But if that's what your customers want, that's great. I personally think it's not anywhere near a trend. This is an offshoot. This is like us annoying diabetics like me. You don't have a diabetic ice cream? Well, I'm never coming in here again. And then they come in and they complain because you've got 2 flavors. Well, can't you make more than 2 flavors? And then they come in once every 3 weeks and the stuff just sits there. I'm sorry. It says ice cream parlor, and that one says bakery. We don't have anything for you. Stick to your diet. But we don't do it. I mean, when you tell me I can't eat my mint chip ice cream, guess what? When the doctor's not looking, I cheat. I eat my mint chip, and I just increase my pump. Anybody else? Yes, one more.
So I know we talked a lot about the entry machine and the other machine to the left, but the 200. So how does that one work as it relates to is it the same as the cutoff and the, I know it doesn't have the digital display, but, and it makes less ice cream, but any other features that are significantly different?
The 200 is a little less than half the price of the CB350. It makes 3 quarts, where the 350 makes the 6 quarts. And if everybody's on a tight budget, it's impossible to get money from a bank. You have a lot of expenses pulling and tugging at you when you're opening up a store. It's better to get the store open with what's available to you than to not open the store. If I said to you, well, you don't have enough money, you ought to wait another year, that's another year that Jeff will tell you that you're missing out on tremendous income. And then your next machine will be easy to buy because this one has made you so much money. At 3 quarts versus 6, you're going to work longer hours. It's going to do absolutely everything that you need. The only thing without the infinite overrun control that it won't give you is it won't give you the highest air content and it won't give you the very lowest. So you're going to make super premium. You're going to be able to make gelato. You're going to be able to make all the water ice products. You're going to be able to make dairy free. So, and just a little more than half the price of the CB350. So I think we sell a lot of them. It's also 110 volts, so you can run it on your kitchen counter, which is very convenient. I'd say it's portable, but I think it's 190 pounds. So it's portable if you've got, you know, two people who lift barbells all day long. I can't lift it. So it is a viable alternative, and we sell a lot of them.
I do have one more question. I saw that on the listing there was a cart. Is that the cart that you sell with it? There's like a
Yes, the cart for the either that's for the 200 or the 350.
Okay.
It's mainly selling to people doing trucks, because the machine bolts down to it, and then you can lock it's on wheels. You can lock it down in your truck, and it's not going to roll around. And then when you want to make ice cream, you unlock it and you roll it out into the middle of the truck, because trucks are crowded and these are air-cooled machines. You don't need it for home. I'll show you why we invented it. Because if this machine, the CB350, was on this higher counter, I'm 5'7" on a good day and shrinking. So I'm up like this, and I'm more the height of a lot of women. And so if you're doing this for 8 hours, your arms are going to kill you with that mix at the end of the day. I asked my guys to invent the cart so I could be here and cantilever right into here. So it's great for people my height. Otherwise, put it on any sturdy counter. This is a $300 counter, and the stand costs more than that. So you don't need the stand when you can do this, unless you're running into my problem and you want it down at a lower level. That and trucks are the only reason to buy it from us.
Okay.
I don't see any hands, so what do you say we break for lunch?
The 350 is also 110 volts? Or?
No, the 350 is 220 volt, like your home oven, your clothes dryer, but it's what we call single phase, so it will work in any building in North America, any building at all. They all come in as 220, and then we break it down individual 110 circuits.
Can you run a single-phase machine in a three-phase facility?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Three-phase is what you find mostly over in Europe. I have three-phase because we're going through, you know, thousands of kilowatts. But your average...
Three-phase. I have three-phase.
You have three-phase.
He was also a gas station.
Oh, so that's why he has three-phase.
7-Eleven.
You're not going to find many stores with three-phase. The Italians all sell in three-phase, and you have to, if you don't have three-phase, or if you have three-phase and you buy it, fine. But when you move to a bigger store, and that's only a single-phase store, you've got a brick. I mean, the machine won't work. They don't work well on transformers. Transformers cost $3,000 for machines these size, and they burn out after 2 years. Always buy in single phase. You don't even have to know what it means, but always buy in single phase. Single phase is 2 wires that will electrocute you. 3-phase is 3 wires that will electrocute you. So to answer Jeff's question, if you have a 3-phase store and a single-phase machine like you should buy, all you have to do is cut that wire in the wall, and now you've got a single-phase outlet. But we can't go the other way. We can't run 2 wires and then we can't run 3 wires and move it into single-phase. But we can run single-phase the other way. Complicated, but we can explain it to you anytime that you want.
We're ready?
We're ready.
Okay.
Let's eat.
Let's break for lunch, guys.